Okay, in this lecture we're going to deploy our application with Railway app. So go to railway.app and sign up. I've already created an account and I'm going to log in with GitHub. Once you log in, you should get access to this dashboard. And at the moment, I haven't created any projects. I've got an empty project there, which I'm going to delete in a moment actually. Just having a look around here, you can see that you can specify things like environments. There's plenty of things we can configure, but in this lecture we're going to go for kind of the simplest deployment with the least configuration required. You can see that we're on this starter plan. When you sign up, you'll start with $5 of free credit, and that means you get 500 hours for free. You're going to need to install the command line interface, so you can use Homebrew on Mac OS. There's Scoop for Windows users, or you can use a shell script if you're on Linux. I've already installed the CLI, so I can check that it's running fine there with Railway -- version. And then here in the main project, I'm going to cd into section 6. And once I'm in section 6, I'll cd into the house prices API directory. It's important that you're in this directory. And then I'm going to run this command, railway login. And I'm going to do this -- browserless option. If you skip -- browserless, it'll just open your browser for you, but I kind of prefer this way. I'm going to copy that URL and go ahead and log in so that I authenticate the CLI session. Verify there, yep. Now I can run CLI commands. I'm going to create a project. It's just an empty service for now. There we go. I've got my project. And then within here, I'll just have a look and check that all the settings are unset. They are. You can see I haven't configured anything. And this is what you should see as well. No variables are set. No deployments yet. So straight from scratch here, I'm going to run railway up -- detach. You need to make sure you're in this house prices API directory in section 6. The directory matters. And then you should see, if all is working well, that laying tracks and then the build logs available. And then if we switch back to the Railway UI and go to where it says building, we can look at the logs here. Yep, there's the build logs. You can see dependencies being installed. It looks like under the hood, Railway is building Docker images using some quite advanced techniques here to speed things up. Deployment is ongoing. Can see the image it's created being pushed. This is all good stuff. This is what we need. Okay, that looks like the build is complete. Yep, you can see the unicorn running there. So that's what we expect. Looks good. Next, and very importantly, we need to generate the domain. So that's in the settings for the project. If you don't generate that domain, you won't be able to visit your app. So make sure you do this. And then that will generate the domain you can go and visit. And it takes about a minute, I guess, to complete. So right now it's not quite done yet. I'm going to impatiently refresh the page and it's not going to be quite ready yet. I'm going to just leave the video running and not skip so you can get a good feel for roughly how long it'll take to start working. It shouldn't be too long. So just to recap, main thing to remember there, in settings, do the generate custom domain. Sorry, not custom domain, just regular domain. Custom is if you want to use your own specific domain, which we don't need right now, but potentially you could use in the future. And there we go. Looks like the deployment's done now. Here's our familiar welcome to the API screen, and we can switch over to the Open API UI and do the things that we're used to doing locally. So check the health endpoint is working. It is. And we can do a prediction. We've got our default input values. We'll run execute and we'll get a prediction from our deployed model. And there it is. There's our predictions. So this is all happening in our deployed application. So congrats. You've now got a deployed application and Railway will create a random name for yours unless you use a custom domain. So it'll be different to what you see on the screen here in terms of the URL, but you can curl it, you can build a front end to call it and display the results in a UI. You can have a mobile app called the API. The options that this opens up are enormous, right? This is the foundational deployment step of our API. Now, I want to draw your attention to this command that we see in the build logs. That comes from the proc file here. So if you've used Heroku before, very similar to Heroku, but this is defining what our basically run command is. And the port environment variable here, although we haven't specified it, that's something that Railway auto generates. So all we have to do is specify it. Also, the way it works with dependencies is Railway's just looking for a requirements.txt file. So that's what we see if we scroll back up to the top here. There we go. There's the install command, and it's looking for a requirements.txt file. So to be clear, if you were to rename this requirements.txt file, then Railway isn't going to find your project dependencies, and the deployment would then fail. You also need to make sure you do have the proc file, and if you were to make any changes to the app structure in here, then you'd need to update this part of the unicorn command. Otherwise, again, the deployment would fail. And finally, you need to make sure that when you run that CLI command, Railway up detach, like we did earlier, you must do that from the house prices API directory, because that is where we have both the proc file and the requirements.txt file. I would expect that will be the most common gotcha when you're attempting to deploy the app here, is trying to run the command from the wrong directory. Okay, I think that's everything. I just want to reiterate though that we've got a running machine learning application deployed, all with just a few commands. So that shows you the power and ease of use of a platform as a service. And as we proceed in the course, we'll see how we can automate these deployments and do them in some more complex ways. So that's what we'll be doing in subsequent lectures and sections. Thanks.